John, thanks for practicing social distancing with me and having a little mortgage market update. What's going on in the mortgage world?
Well, it's crazy right now. I mean, it's wild. It varies between purchases and refis. I mean, it's amazing what's going on. If you're not in the mortgage right now, you need to be in the mortgage. We're having trouble finding people to come in and help, and, things like that. It's wild. It's wild. Never seen it this way.
John, I'm going to call you on Zoom. Maybe we can get better reception.
All right.
Thanks again for coming on here and meeting with me while we endure the social distancing during this time right now, which is kind of weird and crazy. But it's been a couple months, and I wanted to get with you and get your perspective on the mortgage world, what's happening with interest rates, what's going on in the mortgage market, with all the stuff that's happening now that we're in the month of May and things are starting to open up again. Want to hear from you. How are things going, and what can you tell the people who might be watching this?
Well, I think anybody looking for a home right now should be excited because rates are so low. The mortgage market, as far as homes go, we're still doing tons and tons of purchases, but there is a shortage of homes in the market. 25% less than last year because of the COVID virus. People that were going to list their home won't list them, but what's out there is selling in minutes, hours, unless it's really a bad house and then we'll have to renovate it. But other than that, there's 2, 3, 10 offers on a house. So it's really good. As far as refinance, it's a perfect time to refinance. If you have a lot of credit card debt, stuff like that, you can roll it all into your financing. Rates are the cheapest I've ever seen in my whole life in this business, which is 20 years. So I, almost makes me want to refinance my own home, which I don't own, I own already. I paid for it, but I want to do it again.
Yeah.
So that's how good they are.
And we're hearing some lenders, I won't name names, but some lenders are tightening up their guidelines. I don't know if they're just being more conservative because of volatility or what have you. What's going on with you guys? Are you seeing any increases in credit score requirements or down payment requirements?
We have not made any changes. We are still going full force the way we are. So we don't have a minimum score in FHA, for instance. As long as you have a reason for where you're at, we'll do it. A lot of companies have increased their credit score to 660, 680. Some won't do any loan less than 20% down. We still do Ohio bond money. We still do community first money. We do regular rates with those people. They have not increased their rates to us or back payments. Now what you're seeing is a lot of these bigger banks, because they're not like us, they're charging you a fee on top of your loans because they're getting hit with a fee on the other end. Mm-hmm. If they don't sell their loan in time, it's 5 to 7%, which is a problem. And we carry our own loans. So we don't have that issue like a lot of other places do. You will see some mortgage people going out of business because of the cash calls that they've had. People in our business hedge their funds. So, if you had a bunch of funds out there at 4% and now the rate's 3%, there's a cash call for millions and millions of dollars going on. And as you can hear, the phone's still going crazy. It rings all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Anything else you think the public should know about what's going on with mortgages, interest rates, and what's to come here maybe as we get into the summer months?
What's going to happen once this COVID virus scare, whatever, goes away, people are going to go back to listing their house because they got to move before the kids go back to school because they want the new school district or they want to move to Florida or wherever, okay? Mm-hmm. So you're going to see, I think, a flood of houses come on the market, but that's going to create another problem because now we have too many houses all listed, and there'll be a price war about how much you can get for your house. So now is the perfect time. and realtors like yourself, which are very few, by the way, are willing to go out. Hang on a second, sorry. If they don't give me one place, they'll find me another. If realtors like yourself who are willing to go out and work with people, we have so many realtors that are sitting at home, just waiting for this to be over. But the market is so great out there. Our mortgage purchase business is huge. This last month we did pretty much as much in purchase as we did refi.
That's reassuring to hear. And people often ask me, what's going on, with real estate, with housing, as we've had a supply demand, problem with just supply being as low as it is. And even though there may be some sellers and some buyers that are sitting at home and just going to wait till things calm down and normalize, you still have a shortage of homes that are available and still activity with buyers looking. And you brought up a good point. Once things do normalize and those people that are kind of sitting on the fence waiting, it's almost like a shift. Well, normally you see the spring rush of a lot of listings come on the market when school lets out, around, this time, around May. It's almost essentially being shifted to maybe June, July as things start to normalize. You're going to start to see more houses come on the market. So for you buyers out there who might be struggling, and it's a challenge, because I am working with some of you that it's frustrating when you feel like you have to, on day one, go look at the house because it's going to have, showings, all day, and you're going to have to be in a bidding war, multiple offer situation. It's challenging. It kind of takes away the fun out of the home shopping process because it's almost like it's war, it's competition, it's the Hunger Games to get houses. It's reassuring to know that, some lenders like yourself aren't restricting lending guidelines. If anything, the rates are still very attractive, and housing supply may start to increase, and it's going to create more options for buyers out there here in the coming months.
Yeah, anything below 300 is still in a bidding war, pretty much. If the house is in good shape, et cetera. You'll see maybe anywhere from 3 to 15 offers on a house.
Yeah,
it's crazy right now. But you got to have a buyer that has fortitude, that's really wants the house. And then you got to be careful you don't go over too much, because then it won't appraise.
Right.
So as we are having some problems with appraisals, not appraising. And, some banks out there require, 2 appraisals on it, something that shouldn't need 2 appraisals. Or I heard a title story this morning where if you don't have the right title company, this couple went in, a buyer and a seller, and the title company just threw down a stack of papers in front of one, stack of papers in the other one, and backed off and said, sign. That was it. No instructions, no, here what this is, nothing, just sign. They didn't interact at all. So it's important to have the right title company, which is based on the right mortgage company. We've been in business for 40 years, and, we're strong as ever. We've done more business in the last 2 months than we did almost all of last year. And we're still 3 or 4 days, period, in underwriting, which is phenomenal. Not 8 weeks, or some people are now quoting 90 days for refis, because they're buried and they don't handle it right. So we're still, at the most 60 days on a refi, but most of them are getting done in 30 to 45 days. So, that's how fast we do these things. We were all working out of our homes, and they changed us overnight, or working out of the office, and then switched to working at home like instantly, like it took a week. That was it. We're all back up and running. So
one thing I do like about this, but it is very remote, and we can do this business virtually. I've done walkthroughs where I'm recording with my phone, walking through the house, whether it's live, where we're doing it through Facebook Messenger or something like Zoom, or I'm just doing a video recording and then sending them the footage thereafter. So we're taking precautions, and this business again is done very much through the phone and email and internet. Especially you guys collecting docs, people can just email docs to you guys and discuss things through Zoom meetings or over the phone. So I'm glad it's one of those things that we can. It's today's technology. Thankfully, we can still move forward and conduct business as normal as possible as it can be.
Yeah, I still miss seeing people face to face. Zoom only does so much, and then you're out,
Yeah, I still have my
Not that I
buyers
don't love my
with-
wife and like to be home, but you know.
Sure. And I still have buyers that are fine to meet in person. We just obviously keep our distance, and I try and get into the house ahead of time to turn on all the lights and open the door so buyers don't have to touch anything and they feel more comfortable with walking through, keeping our distance. I had one buyer put a house under contract. The way we did it was I went to the house first, then he went to the house thereafter, and then we just stood like 10 feet apart on the driveway talking about what we liked, what we didn't like, and discussing it. And it actually ended up working out where he made an offer on it, and he got the deal accepted.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks, Sean. I really appreciate your time coming on today. Look forward to getting together again, in person soon, and wish you well with you and your family.
Yep. Thanks. Everybody stay safe out there. All right. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya.